That's why I don't know you. I'm not letting nobody sell you crack. You know why? Because I never saw you before. But you a black man like me. That's right. And it's worth something.
This is Blackwatch with Commanding General Yohanna, the only man to lead blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans.
God made man on this earth. The white man he make man. God made man. God wants man to obey him.
Bringing you real news.
We don't need a black man in the White House. We need a black man in every black house.
For many years, there's a lot of black people who didn't realize how deep the racism of white America was.
You ain't gonna do nothing unless you decide where you gonna stand at with the Most High.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Righteous solutions to issues plaguing our nation.
Boy, you better wake up and see the power that is within blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians.
Join us every Monday from 9 to 11 p.m. Blackwatch. Let the show begin.
ISUPK.com is the website. I'm Commanding General Yohanna. I got the helm. We do it up every Monday night live. Do it up every Monday night live. Got the heavy hitters in the building. I got my cheese slicer with me. Like my cheese slice thin. The reason I got my cheese slicer with me is because the world is descending into hell, and some of you seem to not realize it. And some of you seem to not realize what you're supposed to do. Let me break it down. First, let me get my heavy hitters in the building. I got General Muhammad up in here, y'all. Y'all know what it is. General Micah Allah up in the building. Y'all know what it is. General Hazayan in the building. You know what it is. Okay. Got Officer Marah, Yedai, and Ibad holding it down like they do every week. These some consistent warriors, man, putting this thing down. Big shout out to everybody joining us tonight, man. Nothing but love, man, and grace to you, man, in the building. And those of you in here with us tonight, we got a couple brothers and sisters in here with us tonight as well, joining us. Newly raised officer, Hawar in the building. You understand? Okay. Slogging. Y'all, oh, you calling me? Okay, my bad. Okay, holding us down. Let me tell you something. The empire, man, is in a bad place, meaning a bad place for you. It hasn't gotten bad enough for them yet. But black man, black woman, Latino man, Latino woman, man, it is in a very bad place for you. It's so deep what is happening in the world right now. Right, let me, if I could, briefly. What's happening in the world right now, in your world? The 12 tribes are waking up. I'm going to be brief. The 12 tribes are waking up. The churches are declining rapidly. No congregations and all that. They're getting big money from the government, but they declining like crazy. At the same time, black people are beginning to become independent and self-sufficient. Blacks, Latinos, Native Indians. And now we're getting confessions from Latinos and all the tribes on all the things they had to do to survive in the empire. Finally, they coming out with it. We're going to talk about John Leguizamo and what he had to go through and others in the kingdom. A lot going on. Let's get to the hot stuff. In a minute, I'm telling you, the prophets are here and they telling you the Lord does not send the prophets for no reason, man. But we're here. We laying it out for you. You better get it right, man. So I got my cheese slicer with me, y'all. And let's do it. Where are we going first, y'all?
Khan. 2 AME Zion pastors face up to 20 years in prison for pimping the pulpit and the federal government.
Good night, Irene. You got pictures of these bums? Pimping the pulpit.
Con.
Y'all halfway don't want to give us a daggone nonprofit money. But they sit up there and getting the cash, the money going into their bank accounts out like crazy. Meanwhile, ISUPK, we come up there and say, look, man, we on the street. We already doing it. Y'all block us from getting the cash. Wicked as hell. Go ahead. Give me a loan. But this is, let me tell you something. You see them old nice, you see that old handsome brother and sister and well-groomed beard and nicely set hair. and beautiful smiles. Getting rid of them is going to fix your life.
That's right, sir.
All these beautiful people, when the Lord get rid of them, your life is going to get better because you're going to be left to have to clean up what they constantly messed up and kept under the rug. Go ahead, Op.
Wakan, sir.
Y'all jump in, heavy hitters.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
Ghana Wakan, sir. 2 pastors face 20 years in prison after defrauding the federal government of $14 million in loans.
14 million in loans. You know how many people that could have helped, man? How many things could have been set up and built and structured, man? $14 million. It's like I don't even want to say this like this. Y'all stop me at any time. But it's almost like Esau is being slightly just by giving you back some of your tax money. He's giving you back. He's loaning it to you. He's a bum. He's the devil. What do you expect? But he's giving some of it back to you to help you at least eat and breathe and put a few clothes on your back and maybe fix a door so it don't get kicked in. But these parasites clock $14 million and let you starve and die during a pandemic in some of the worst poverty we've seen. I mean, when that pandemic came in 2020, the economy went in the toilet. Wiped black people out, especially small businesses, beauty salons, barber shops, all them little grocery stores, all them Latino grocery stores, wiped them the hell out. And look, while all the pandemic was going on and people was in the house and all of that, guess who was getting paid? Please.
Sir. And if I could, this is a perfect example of what Christ talked about when he said, ye be blind leaders of the blind. Because these 2 preachers of the AME Pentecostal Episcopalian Baptist Church got caught in the same web of all of you PPP loan fools. This is the same thing. You're sitting at home getting $20,000 with no strings attached. No one cares. No one is going to know. I'm going to get to keep this money with no repercussions. What possibly could happen? You are the kind of fool that follows this preacher who thought they could get $14 million. Nobody's going to know. Nobody's going to want the money. This is never going to be an issue. You are as dumb as your preacher.
Yeah.
A lot of you idiots out there, you went and got $20,000 thinking that the oppressor doesn't have accountants or calculators or know that this is a scam. Your preacher went out and got $14 million of the same stupid scam, of the same exact scam. Your preacher doesn't have discipline, and neither do you. Your preacher is a sucker. He's like any fish that bites every hook, and so are you. And that's what this story is. This is a PPP loan. The same loans that are getting everybody who's stupid enough to think that the government doesn't have a calculator or a memory, and your preacher doesn't know the same. That's it, sir.
And if I could, they also got this sister from Baltimore. Remember?
Yeah,
that was
Jesus
my girl,
Christ.
man.
She had potential.
She had such potential because she pulled up on them cops that killed Freddie Gray.
She did.
Yeah,
She gave it her best shot to get them cops on Freddie Gray's case, which was, somewhat decent. Brothers had some hope for the sister. She was a real fighter.
Yeah.
They got her on like 39 grand. PPP loans. PPP loans sending everybody to jail.
Come.
You getting 20 grand. You better hope they deny you. You better hope you messed up that application. You don't get that money because they coming to get you, man.
If I can, so one last thing, sir. And the PPP loan, the whole controversy is proof that Black people in the world are poorly led. It's the evidence of it. Because something came along in the Black community, sir. I remember when I first told you about it, and you knew it was a scam. You knew there was no way that anyone could just sign up for a $20,000 loan, claim to be a business while it's you sitting there looking at the video games.
Right.
And somehow you're a business. And I would come tell you what brothers were saying about it. And you were saying the white man is coming to get that money and they're going to jail. You said that at the beginning of it.
Most time.
Who are they following? Like, who are they following?
That they going through.
That they did it. that many people didn't see the danger in getting that PP loan. Preachers,
14
congresswomen, no one could see. Well, clearly, this is not as good as they say it is. Clearly, at the end of this, our oppressor is going to want his money and put you in jail. No one knew but you. The black congresswomen didn't know. Cheap preachers didn't know. And the average black or Hispanic didn't know. And he follows the preacher and he follows the congresswoman. You're poorly led. And if you got caught up in that PPP loan, and if your preacher was doing it too, and your congressman was doing it too, you're poorly led, and we are not.
That's right, sir.
Salaki, sir.
And real quick, I was gonna say is that love that they have for Esau is put such a blinder on them. Like they went after that money from Esau because, like you said, you put the perfect the perfect metaphor when you said you like any fish that bites the hook. Like they never believed the worm could be a trap because they don't think Esau is a trap. No. And they don't think that he will trap them. And meanwhile, he trapped the hell out of them and, destroy them. And listen, them preachers, they're just a disgusting human being. Like it is rare. It is very, very rare to find people that come together that truly and sincerely from the bottom care about doing the right thing towards their people and never coming off of it no matter what. And brother, that's what you find when you come to the ISUPK.
That's right.
And it's only because the Lord has given us the understanding of these scriptures that we made a change, and as many as come into this UPK, they also make that change. And that's because of it, we actually do something great for brothers and sisters out with absolutely almost no help. I can damn near say no help from the government. Where we just on our own with brotherhood and the righteousness of these scriptures do more than these organizations do that clock in $14 million. They clock in millions and millions. It makes me mad as a man administrating over the Israelite school of UPK. I'm furious that we have to scramble the way we have to while actually doing the job that they are being paid millions of dollars to do. Like my officers, a trooper should come in here and be making $25,000 a year. That's right. Like as he get hired as a trooper, he should get $25,000 a year. Forget about officers and captains. Forget about generals. Generals should be in here, getting ridiculous money. That's what they're doing. Like you think they're getting $14 million and ain't paying themselves? Creflo and Dollar, I'll never forget. I always bring this up, man. When Creflo Dollar's daughter called the cops and they were trying to come to the house. They said, we can't find the address. Where is the house at? She said, all of this is the house. All of that. She told the dispatch. She didn't even know. She told the dispatcher, all of this is the house. Like she got frustrated with you hear the 911 call, you be shocked. She got frustrated with the dispatcher because the dispatcher was like, they can't find the house because the land was so goddamn big that they didn't know which road to go up to get to the actual house because they was already at the address. That's what they pay themselves. And here's the thing. And this is why so many times, like you say in the scriptures, like you was bringing out in your class today, which was so heavy, how Satan tempted Christ to come off of this. Well, guess what? He tempts them every day, and they come off of it every minute, every hour, all day, every day, while looking good and smiling good and talking good Christian talk and touting the Bible and pulling scriptures, while the real men of God is in these streets. Just like Christ said. This is how you know everything that's in that Bible is true, because you living it again. Please,
just like you said to me in the car today, General. You said, I was talking about them black groups and black power who marching, but they feeding us into the wrong gods and the wrong cultures. You said, well, sad to say, Mayak, all them type of groups, even though it seemed like they doing good, they all doing it for the wrong reason. They all doing it for their gain, for themselves, and that's what's leading them. Whereas we took this thing, General, and we did this with nothing and kept nothing and kept going forward with nothing and kept rolling with nothing and did it some more years for nothing. In 20 years, the Lord increasing it.
That's
You know
right.
what I'm saying? I said,
Give
thou art
that
a man
up.
of God.
Give that the hell up. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And the shit is so beautiful because once again, I always talk about how when I see Mayak, flashes in my head every time I see General Mayak. Him standing on that ice on cardboard. Washington, D.C. with the whole D.C. coming up against us. General Mayak, I look down. I can see the boots right now. He's standing on blocks of ice because the ice is on the ground. He's on the ice, standing on a piece of cardboard out, prophesying God's word against this evil empire and doing it for nothing, for no gain whatsoever. And that's joined there. Like that's what this school is made of, right or wrong.
That's right, Joe.
That's what we made of. That's what we born of.
That's right.
That's what we produce here. That's what we seek to produce. Because here's why: if the brothers do that, then you're going to joust those that was bidden to the supper, those that should be in charge. You're going to get the 14 million, but you will get it righteously.
Right,
and you will do for the Lord just what you're supposed to do, man. They just disgusted, man. And I don't respect them. And there's a reason. And that's now you know why I don't respect them. They always sending me emails. I'm always getting comments. You real disrespectful for the churches. You real disrespectful. You don't need to be saying that. You could using profanity. You know what I'm saying? They doing this. They always telling me what they doing. They got food programs just like you do. They're doing this just like you do. Yeah, they got $14 million sitting in the bank that they got off the government and stole from the people that who's supposed to receive it. Now what? Now tell me and explain that to me. Go ahead, you die, please. Anybody else?
I was going to say, General, what you bringing out is so heavy. That's $14 million on top of the $800 billion that they got off of us, sir.
You right about that. I ain't even thinking about the 800.
That ain't counting the tithes money.
That ain't counting the tithes money.
Donations.
Donations.
$100 line, $1,000 line.
Count the $25,000 funeral fund.
Floor fund, the brick fund.
There you go. Yeah.
Yes.
Magic water.
Magic water. Yo, that is some evil, disgusting mess, man. And once again, black people you got to come out of the stupidity, man, and make the change. Like the Lord has raised up the prophets of the Lord. And once again, God uses prophets to fix his government.
Yeah.
Y'all use voting in this kingdom. In this kingdom, you use voting. Y'all try to get together and vote. And that's why it takes forever and never happens, because you just buy off the politician. That's all that's going on. Every politician in Washington, D.C. is nothing more than a prostitute. And if you got the $1 billion corporation to pay for it, then that's that. Donald Trump even said it before he ran. That's why he don't respect them. He don't respect none of them politicians. Why? Because he owned them all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was their daddy a minute ago. He was their sugar daddy. Whatever policy, whatever he needed done, he paid them to do it, including Hillary Clinton. That's why he trashed her the way he did. Like most people would be afraid politically to even come out so raw on another politician. You be scared for blowback from your constituents or whatever. He don't even give a damn because he owned them all. He know how disgusting they all are. But in the truth, in Christ's kingdom, you know how this is done? This is done by prophets. God raising up, and I should say disciples now, because all prophets are now disciples of Christ.
Yeah, right.
You can't be a prophet without being a disciple of Christ, for those of you that's still stuck in the Old Testament. So these disciples of Christ is how Christ fixes his government every time. And that's why we're here. We were raised up. The Lord said he knew us before we got into the womb, did he not?
Yes, sir.
And raised us up. You didn't become a prophet of the Lord by accident. The Lord draw you to be a prophet of the Lord. Now, what you do with it is up to you. You got to come in and you got to make it what you're supposed to make. And as a result, we get fixed. And brothers, sisters, ISUPK, and all you brothers and sisters watching, now is the time. Like, you should grab the bull. You got to make life changes in 2022. In 2022, you got to make life decisions on standing up for the truth. Life decisions, because you may not even have a whole year before this empire descends. And I ain't gonna run long because Yediah got a whole host of wonderful stories. Big shout out to Napatazar, man, always holding us down with them stories. I always forget to give him his due. But now you're gonna see by these stories and the others that we bring out all the time. Now is life decision time. Come in, be strong, get this knowledge of the truth, and make that transition out of the world and do something amazing, because the transition is happening. They going into vagabond. Them two right there, they going to prison for stealing that $14 million. They going to the penitentiary for stealing that $14 million.
You gotta give the 14 back.
And got to give the 14 back. You understand? And more. And when Trump get in, he knows. If he gets in, if Donald Trump gets in, he knows the power in the black community, in the black politicians, and the Democratic Party is in them churches. And you're going to see them Christian churches and them pastors and them bishops. You're going to see them treated like a nigga selling crack on the corner. They're going to drag them out of them churches out in handcuffs on scams and schemes that they don't let go for years. And the Lord is going to move you into that position to take over all these operations and all these things. And you're going to become like many governments, man. He's already talking about rioting in every city if he gets in. And even if he don't get in, you got hell to pay with white people. Did we not say that in here? That after they can't get nothing done with the government, where they coming? To the one fallback they always come to, which is attacking you. That's what it's coming down to. That go to every city means go after these niggas the way they went after us. Because this is what's in the back of their mind. I'm going to get up off of it so we can go on with the story. In the back of their minds, these niggas rioted in all these cities and burned down police stations and took stole, in their mind, stole the White House from us. And now he's stirring the pot. If he ain't running Ramesses' program, I don't know what the hell is. Ramesses said, take our babies and just throw them in the river.
Come.
So Ramesses, he stopped even messing with the government. He went to the midwives. The midwives didn't do what he wanted to do. He didn't even deal with the government no more. He said, man, just throw their babies in the river. And that's exactly what Donald Trump is damn near saying as he starts to go down this route. And you should wake up. You should, for once in your stupid life, those of you who have not come in this body, for once in your stupid life, go listen to a nigga with a beret on his head, man. For once in your dumb, stupid life, don't listen to somebody from Yale. For once in your life, listen to somebody that comes from the streets that knows what they're talking about in this ISUPK, man.
Come.
Okay, Salakia, y'all.
So
Come
if I
on,
could,
please.
The Lord, that's why the Lord said, man, even though he gives us the bread of adversity, that you're not going to be, the teeth ain't going to be removed in the corner no more. Meaning what? You're going to see us in the streets teaching, and we're going to be prophesying against the evil going on amongst our people, man. But you see up here today with that scam, we've been talking about that for years, like how Commander GEN.YAHANNA said. Now it's time for the Lord to really listen to what we're saying. You can see us on the street corners. We out there teaching. Hear what we're saying, man. Because this right here, all going to fall. There'll be more of that coming on, like how Commander GEN.YAHANNA been prophesied. And where you going to go? You got to come back home to the Lord. You got to come back home to the Most High. It's the only course, man. You understand? You're going to see us in them corners even more and more and more. While all this is going on, no, your teachers are not being removed in the corner. You're going to see us out there in the streets.
And the Lord, I know I'm running. I'm getting off. The Lord is just like a female lion. I mean, not a female lion, Salakia. I didn't mean to mess that up. Like a male lion, Salakia.
Come.
Before you know it, I'll get emails through the roof. I'm trying to just say a metaphor. Don't nobody charge my ass with it before you know. That's all. It's just metaphorically, all right? God damn. You know what I'm saying? In essence, I'm saying that the Lord, like a lion, he gonna go kill the prey and say eat to his children. And that's what's happening here. He getting ready to destroy these churches. And he's gonna tell you to step into the void and go on and help and fix it. Go on and do what they were supposed to do. Go on and do what they were supposed to do and did not do. That's what he's saying to you. He's going to kill them and say, go ahead and eat. And that's what's happening in this kingdom, man. Salakia, y'all go ahead.
You're done.
Concert. At Texas rally, Trump all but promised a racially charged civil war if indicted.
Come on with it. Now,
That's it.
Now, it was supposed to be about Democrats against Republicans. How did we get into? He was supposed to be that, we're not racist. What happened? Come on. Now, wait a minute. First of all, what news agency titled this story this way?
The Inquirer.
The Inquirer titled it this way, meaning they know that these words mean race war.
It was on CNN. They said the exact same words that he is calling for a race war, and MSNBC, Trump is calling for a race war. I saw it right before I got here tonight.
All of a sudden, you are now the target.
And of course, who has been saying for years that there was going to be a race war? Like, that is one West bedrock.
Yes, sir.
Since I was a young kid, I've heard about the race wars and rumors of wars, and that there was nation against nation. I've heard about this since I was young in the truth, that there was going to be a race war. There was going to be a race war. There was going to be a race war. Donald Trump just invited one yesterday.
Amazing.
Go ahead, you die.
I think oh, that's what you. Okay, let's please, Salakia. That's so right.
You might need a little background on this if I could, you die. Trump is being indicted in 4 districts, right? He's being indicted. They're threatening to indict him all over New York, right? And the districts have black district attorneys over either, meaning, like, New York has like the Southern District, the Western District of Manhattan is broken up in about 4 parts.
Okay.
Right? The Southern District is where Wall Street is. So 4 districts in New York are threatening to indict Donald Trump for different charges.
Okay.
And all of the district attorneys threatening to indict him are black. That's what you need to understand this video. All right, go ahead, you die.
I mean, come on.
If these radical, vicious, racist prosecutors do anything wrong or illegal, I hope we are going to have in this country the biggest protest we have ever had in Washington, D.C., in New York, in Atlanta, and elsewhere, because our country and our elections are corrupt. They're corrupt.
That's it. The other one is in Atlanta. They also, there's something about when he asked for them to find votes in Georgia.
Right.
So they're threatening on indicting him on election fraud for asking them to find illegal votes. And of course, he's calling them racist because they're black, and no other reason other than that, them being black, and asking for the biggest protest. And of course, Donald Trump knows what the hell that means. Bigger than January 6th. Bigger than the one when they put human feces on Nancy Pelosi's desk. Oh, bigger than that one.
And they on his ass, and that's why he going there. Because they said he sent fake, oh man, what was it? The fake electors.
Yes.
He set up fake electors.
Yes.
To get them in that damn office, man.
Like, that's some
Donald Trump is saying,
yes.
And this is not the UPK's breakdown. This is every journalist. They know he's saying, if these black people indict me, I am going to make bigger racial protests than January 6th. Bigger than January 6th. The biggest in history, in where you indicted me. In D.C., in Atlanta, and in New York. I'm going
elsewhere. Elsewhere means wherever you white supremacists want to get on in Michigan, in wherever, they're also
like a threat. You better not indict him.
Yes.
If you indict him, you're gonna get worse than January 6th. And it's about race, which means his core base people can come, which are the white supremacist Proud Boys. All of them lunatics with the torches, all of them can come and get involved and do it bigger than January 6th.
And he talked about pardoning the ones that went up in there with them bombs, them oat cakers.
Just to keep them on board.
Like, y'all hold it down in them jail cells. I'm coming to get you. Because that's
what he said. Stand ready. What was that?
Stand by. Like, you know, man, and that's exactly what Adolf Hitler did. Adolf Hitler went and got out all the criminals that fought against him, that was rioting and beating people. They all became part of the government.
If I could, this is how it happened.
Yeah.
Okay, when they went to kill all those so-called Jewish people in Germany, it wasn't like kill the Jewish people. it was kill these rich people, the journalists, these criminals. It was like this, and they just happened to be Jewish people.
That's right.
Like all of that class of people just happened to be the journalists and those people. They just all happened to be Jewish people that did this and did that. And they went and killed all of them. Yeah. And look up the Night of the Long Knives. Jesus Christ. Where he went through Germany before Auschwitz and just killed every political rival, all of them.
Killed them all.
And he was an elected official.
Yeah.
Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler wasn't some dictator that
they
voted him in.
They voted him in.
They voted him in. And then when it was time to leave, he refused to leave.
Yeah.
He refused to be unelected, and then went
and changed
the laws so he could stay in, which is exactly what Donald Trump tried to do. The only difference is Adolf Hitler was killing Jewish people. We are the Jewish people, black people,
the real Jews.
And Hispanics are the real Jews who Donald Trump wants to kill. And this is exactly how it happened. Just like this. And he's picking a date. It's going to be the date of some event. And on this date, he's going to stop all of these racist black people who are they're really the oppressors. These racist black people, they're really the racists. And he has a date just like Adolf Hitler had on the Night of the Long Swords or the Long Knives when he picked a date and killed everybody on that day.
That's exactly what's going to happen. Crystal Knot, the night they went out and smashed every so-called Jewish business.
Yep.
You can get ready because they're going to be cutting you off everywhere they can if he gets back in office and gets to do it. And once again, even if he doesn't get back in office, he already got the backing. And once again, it was only said here, y'all can deny it if you want. It was only said here in the ISUPK, right here on Blackwatch.news, said that Donald Trump used the #1 tool that unifies white people, hating us. And it worked. It worked. I mean, he's been out of office almost 2 years now. And he's still the most popular front runner for a second term. That's unheard of in the history of politics in the United States. That is literally unheard of in the history of politics in the United States. And here's why. Because hating you is the most passionate emotion these animals have.
Yep.
Hating you is the most passionate thing that is deep within their heart that motivates them no matter what. You're going to turn out more votes hating us than ever before, which is why the race was so close.
Yep.
Excuse me. With all that he said and did, the race was still close as hell. He lost by so little, he tried to fight to steal it. And why? Because he was able to unify them so well. So well. He was able to unify because of their hatred toward us. That's what happened, like you brought out in Germany. Crystal Knot, brother, they burnt down every so-called Jews business, every last one of them. Went through the streets and burnt them down. Then eventually brought in the trains after they had set up all the roads and carried them the hell out. He's carrying the same playbook out. And you better get ready because now this is the God's chosen people. And here's the difference is they was able to kill 6 million of them. The Lord is not giving them the opportunity to do it this time. This time is going to be different.
That's
if
right,
they
sir.
attempt to exterminate God's chosen people, it's going to be the end of the world. You understand? So that was it. So long. Let's keep going. Yeah, you can bring that part out real quick, and then we can move on. Is it too much heat, y'all?
You can turn it down if you want.
Huh?
You want to turn it down, please? The heat.
I mean, I got my jacket on. It's up.
It's fine.
Trump.
Go ahead.
Come. Trump says he will pardon January 6th rioters if reelected.
I mean, that's deep.
Yeah,
it is.
Like these cats rioted on Congress, kicked in the doors, defecated all in the offices, threatened people's lives. All of these is people that are in jail right now on federal charges.
Yeah.
And he talking about, when I get in office, I'm gonna cut all of y'all loose. Yeah. Like they realize they are showing what he's showing them is if you down with me, don't worry about the law. We are white people. We above this law. Don't you worry about that. You know what I mean? We're white people. It's going to be just fine. And here's the sad part. black people, those same politicians and those black people that are in power, if Donald Trump gets back in office, they're going to be begging white Democrats to save them.
Yep.
And those white Democrats are going to turn on them. Give me that scripture. Who got that scripture where the Lord said, oh man, you know the one I'm looking for, where the Lord said about your lovers. You would turn to your lovers, but that your lovers would turn on you. Give me that, because this is so what's happening now. It's why they're getting indicted. It's why these Edomites are going into the spirit they're going into. God, let me tell you something, man. Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai is so merciful to us. Like the fact that he left us the book of Exodus right now, the book of Revelation right now, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, hell, the whole Bible. The fact that we have this book called the Bible right now is better than anything else he could have left us. It's better than if he had left us a nuclear weapon. If the Lord had a prophet 4,000 years ago build a nuclear weapon and buried it in the ground, it would not have been as good as what he actually left us, which was the Bible. Because we got the whole playbook before it started. You got the one please.
I'm not sure if this is the right one.
It might be one in German.
It's somewhere it says, you want the one where it's like, call your lovers.
I'll take either one. That's a good one too. That's a very, very good one.
Give him the one Haas gave you, then you die.
What's the one Haas gave you?
Ezekiel 16, verse 37.
Let me hear it.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 16 and verse 37. Behold, therefore, I will gather all thy lovers with whom thou hast taken pleasure.
Both of these are good. He said, I'm going to gather these lovers, which ye have taken pleasure, meaning our leaders went and joined them parties and joined them politics and joined all that sliminess that they were doing and got rich. I mean, they did 14 million on a PPP loan. Like somebody do a PPP loan, they try to get 10, 15,000. These bastards get 14 million. First of all, I want to know who was, okay, you don't get $14 million on a PPP loan unless the person signing off of it knows you personally.
Yikes.
Like you don't get 14, like ain't nobody sitting in an office, oh, they need $14 million for to keep their staff going. Okay, no problem. No. Here you go. Nobody does that. You sign off on $14 million. The person signing it off got at least 2 million.
Yeah.
$1 million. $500,000. Something. And they knew you. Big time crime to get the money that's supposed to be in the hands of God's poor, suffering people, man. The people in lamentation in this hell. Every single one of these brothers who cannot take it no more and don't have the knowledge of the truth, who puts a gun in his hand because he believes this is the only way he's going to put some money in his pocket, you've robbed him. You've robbed him. And they're going to wake up after a while. And they're going to see after a while why they're in the condition they're in. It's wicked as hell. Go ahead, please. And the Lord is so right in the metaphor. He calls them your lovers. Because it's almost a disgusting sexual relationship. Yeah. It's almost like buying a prostitute.
Yeah.
It's like you prostituting yourself. It's a disgusting sexual relationship. You don't call it a marriage, you call it lovers. Like real, disgusting sexual mess. Go ahead,
Wakan, sir. And all them that thou hast loved.
And has loved, meaning on top of having that relationship, they really love these white people. These great, powerful politicians, they believe in them and love them, and they have forgotten about slavery. Go.
Wakan, sir. With all them that thou hast hated, I will even gather them round about against thee.
He gonna gather them against them, please. I'm coming right after.
This is Lamentations 1:19. I called for all my lovers, but they deceived me. My priests and my elders gave up the ghost in the city.
Damn.
While they sought.
Going too fast.
Okay,
let me just say one thing. Listen, he said gave up the ghost in the city, meaning they saw the situation in the city and gave up the spirit of the Lord and went and became like a dead person. They just fell into the whole dead scene, right or wrong, and started taking on the money, taking on the spirit of the place, being corrupt like the place, Christ is not raising that up, man. Please, General, finish it.
What you just said. They gave up the ghost in the city while they sought their meat to relieve their soul.
Come on, man.
That's it.
A prophet of the Lord must be willing to suffer if necessary to help raise the Lord's people out.
That's right, sir.
And your life got to be, you got to be ready to lose your life, like these brothers in here. You got to be ready to lose it for the sake of these people coming alive with the knowledge of the truth. Let me tell you something. A body of brothers and sisters with the knowledge of the truth is the most powerful weapon you will ever have against this place. It is what happened with Moses and Aaron and the brothers with them. You could read every story from Joshua all the way to Christ and the 12. You could read from Peter and Paul and the brothers that was with them. Those bodies of brothers come together. They change the world of blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians, man. It is the most powerful weapon given to us. And it is the weapon we use at all times to come up against this. So heavy. That was it on it?
That was it on that.
It was so heavy. Finish the other one with Haas and I'll leave it alone. The last one is good too. That one you pull first is as sweet as candy too. But if y'all want me to cut short on the time, I'll just read this one. Go ahead, y'all.
Kana
Tell me where you at.
Kana Wakan.
That was smoking too. Go ahead.
Kana Wakan. Ezekiel chapter 16 and verse 37 in the middle. I will even gather them round about against thee.
And the Lord said, He's going to turn them against you. They're going to turn them Democrat leaders for their own survival. Them Edomites, they're going to turn against you. Go ahead, Op.
Kana Wakan, sir. And will discover thy nakedness unto them, that they may see all thy nakedness.
All of the evil that you doing is about to be exposed.
Okay.
You're going to be, your nakedness is going to be exposed. What you really made of, what you really about, what you really doing in the dark in these churches, man. Like if they had not been indicted, you would have never known they walked away with $14 million. And I guarantee you their congregation would have never known. And certainly the poor in their areas would never have known. They would have never, ever known that happened. You just saw them in the Caribbean or in Europe or somewhere or on some ridiculously expensive yacht, and you would have just assumed that the congregation blessed them with all this money. And these is gangsters, man. Gangsters that and the gangsters that have to be removed, because without them being removed, you can't go fix the people.
Right.
How you gonna fix the people when you got gangsters in the midst blocking what you're doing? You can't get them fixed. Go. Was that it on that?
I think this is the one you want.
Come on.
If you want.
Wait. Let Muhammad come in with this one. Hold on.
This is the one. Jeremiah 13 and 14. All thy lovers have forgotten thee.
That's the one.
They seek thee not.
They have forgotten you. They don't seek you no more. Give me the, I think it's another line, right? Come on.
All thy lovers have forgotten thee. They seek thee not. For I have wounded thee with the wound of an enemy.
Brother. He wounded us who wounded them with the wound of an enemy. Meaning they was on the side with Esau. But now the Most High turned Esau on them. And now they wounded with the wound of an enemy. And here's the thing. They're going to pay dearly. Here's why. Because they had so many years and so much time to help fix black people. We could have all been in private schools right now. We could have all known the law and not been going to prison. We could have set up all types of organizations to stop the CIA from pouring drugs in our neighborhood. We could have had social classes set up all across this country to have fixed the way black men and women deal with each other and one another back and forth. We could have set up rules, just like they got no snitching rules. We could have set up rules in every black and Latino and Native Indian community. We could have set up the way we deal with blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians. We should have been on the side of the so-called Mexican brothers and sisters when Esau first started coming down on them. We should have been down with them. We should have took 5 million single black women and married every single Mexican, man. Married all of them and applied for immigration to all of them and saved ourselves and them from what the hell they went through. We should have took back. Let me tell you something. It's so silly. White people right now, I'm going to get up off it. White people right now are saying We got to take back our country. We're the ones that run our country. This is our building. When they was breaking into January 6th, they were saying, this is our building. Yep. This is our property. They saying all of that, and it is so what we should be saying for ourselves. Like if we're taking that, if we was to take that same position, we would come together and we would be so powerful, it would be ridiculous. And once again, I always go back real quick to Caiaphas. When Caiaphas was convincing them to kill Christ, he was putting pressure on Pontius Pilate. He was saying a man that don't do this is not a friend of Rome. And he put pressure, even though Pontius Pilate was a slime ball, was going to try to kill Christ anyway, because Christ was a menace to what he was doing anyway, because Christ was waking the brothers and sisters up and doing miracles and blowing their whole government out the water. But those politicians had so much power that they put pressure on Pontius Pilate and made him go do it, even if he didn't want to. And even when his wife was saying she is having visions, don't mess with this dude. God is with him, man. He still went and did it because the politicians pushed it over the top. And that's the power that they've had all this time. And brother, and 40 years later, they all ended up dead, eating their children. Yep, they ate their children, okay? Just imagine you take your baby and put it in the microwave, okay? That's what they did. Ate their children. Why? Because they turned on Christ the way they did. And once again, here we are again in this exact same position. We should wake up and see what's really happening around us. Go ahead, you die. Read it. Was that on that scripture? Oh, was you reading it? General?
Yeah, I think that was it on that.
That was it on it? Okay, the water, y'all. The water. Come on. Let's please. Next door.
John Leguizamo says he avoided the sun for years to stay light-skinned for Hollywood roles.
Amazing.
No video, right?
Amazing.
Keep going.
Amazing.
Concert. John Leguizamo revealed in a conversation with Academy of Motion Pictures of Arts and Sciences that he made a deliberate choice in his career to stay out of the sun in order to continue booking roles as a light-skinned Latino actor.
Imagine that, man. This brother had to lie about he had to keep his skin color light as possible to keep them roles. In other words, he had to look as little, he had to look very un-Latino.
That's it.
Which show you cannot function here with these people. It could be 1,000 years. They ain't never going to accept you, man. They are never, ever. And listen, and don't think it's really skin color. It's whatever marker they could make that makes you different from them. If white people had brown skin like us, they would find another reason. They would say it's your nose. They would say it's your hair texture. They would say it's some other reason that they don't like you. It would have been something else. It is what nations do to remain in power. You can't love everybody and remain in power. And brother, this cat here, you know how many movies he done made? He done been in every damn movie.
Forget about it.
Been in hundreds of movies, man. Go ahead,
Connor Wakan. Salaki. The actor said he has long benefited from being light-skinned in Hollywood and addresses issues of colorism within Hollywood and within Latino culture.
Imagine you living your life 20, 30 years. You wealthy, you powerful, you living in a mansion, you flying private jets, you adored and loved by the Latino community, but every day you wake up knowing that for your master, you must avoid letting the sun give you your natural color. That's hell.
To run from the sun. That's hard to run from the sun.
That's hard to run from.
It is everywhere.
Yeah. And certainly tons of normal life. You have to get in the sun. Tons of normal, like you can't go to the beach.
In California.
Yes. You can't go to the beach. Right. You can't be out on a boat or a yacht. You got to avoid the sun because even though you're a millionaire, got a mansion, got all this, you must avoid it's right out the door. It's right here. You got to avoid that. That is, that's deep slavery. Deep slavery. You have the video of him saying it? Let me know if you grab it up, because that's heavy. You got more on it?
Come on, sir. I got
You got the video.
And John Leguizamo used to always, sorry to cut you off, John Leguizamo always did his stand-up in a real ethnic Latino way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And somebody was bringing out how he had to always lie and say he was Puerto Rican.
I thought he was Puerto Rican. Yeah, you gotta look that up. I didn't know he wasn't Puerto Rican.
He had to lie and say he was Puerto Rican because
he's Colombian.
He's Colombian. And who knew? But he had to lie, because if they had known he was Colombian, it was gonna be a problem. It was gonna make it worse. It's damn near like you got to shed your soul.
Yeah.
You got to give up who you are to be among them.
And if I could, I'll let him play the video if you have it. You ready?
Listen, and he's one of few.
Oh,
it ain't like it's flooded with Latinos. It's a few of them. Yeah. And even they, for sake of success, got to avoid the damn sun. Go ahead.
That's what they be called. I'm sorry, you died. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead. No, sir. Go ahead.
What I was going to say, sir, you know what I mean? I watched a recent interview of him. I'm not sure if it's this one. He said that he was rejected of a movie role because they casted another Latina sister, and they told him, well, you know what I mean, with her and you know what I mean, it's not a Mexican film. It's not an Hispanic film. You know what I mean? It'd be too many of them.
In this. Yeah.
Oh, where he said it was too many of y'all.
Can't be two of y'all in it. Then it's a Mexican film.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Want to play it, sir?
Please.
Come on, God.
And before you play, let me just say one quick thing. And see, that's why that's why the 12 tribes of Israel are so precious, because you're not as vicious as you think you are. No. You are a goddamn lamb, like the Lord said. Because this so-called Jew, guess what he did? He just went out and made movies about Edomites.
There you go.
He said, okay, you don't want to accept me? No problem. I'll make movies about you. And then when I get enough money, then I'll own the damn industry. That's what he did. Yep. He made movies about, he was the one making John Wayne and Gunsmoke.
Golden My Year. He made all that's every movie studio.
Oh, forget about it.
It's owned by somebody, a so-called Jew.
Yeah, every last one. Golden My Year, 20th Century Fox. Robert Ailes and them, all old school Jewish gangsters. You understand, from the days of what's his name, the famous one, Jewish gangster,
Benny Siegel.
All of them. Siegel was one. The one that ran the numbers
Inc.,
game.
Murder Inc.
All of them were so-called Jews back then. They really started the mafia.
Yeah.
The mafia, the Italians didn't start the mafia. The so-called Jews started the mafia. The Italians came over later on with La Cosa Nostra, but them so-called Jews was running mob games since the turn of the century. That's how they became all our damn landlords. Go ahead, Sluggy,
No, that's fine, sir.
Go ahead, Marab, real quick.
Sluggy, sir, if I may. Like y'all saying stuff that's blowing my mind. Like Beanie Siegel, he's a Philly rapper.
Yeah.
Murder Inc. is like Ja Rule and them. You mean to tell me they naming themselves
Rockefeller Records?
After Emma?
Yeah, those are old Jewish gangsters.
These are all gangsters that black, once again, we like babies.
Yeah.
We go and take their names and mimic them for our success.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but they were all Jewish gang. What's his name? God damn it.
The one in New York?
No, the one that was in the Godfather movies. Go ahead.
Oh God,
Meyer Lansky and them. Go pull up the movie of Meyer Lansky. Meyer Lansky and them, they started the mafia. They were gangsters in the turn of the century. They were the bootleggers. They were the ones that started. They mainly started in the 20s when alcohol became illegal. They became the bootleggers. Black people worked in the factories. They became the bootleggers because they were the only ones that would hire us. The so-called Jews, the only one that would hire us, because in his mind, they were the goyim. So you could use them. You know what I mean? They had a code where they used them. The other white races were just racist, ain't want nothing to do with us. And they were struggling too, trying to hire their own. So the so-called Jew, he hired us and they were gangsters running liquor and molasses and everything out of different countries into this country, guns, everything. And then they rose to power. And when the white man told them, nah, you can't come in here and make no, we ain't putting you in no movies. They said, no problem. They opened up theater houses. And they didn't make movies about Jewish people. They had the theater house, but they didn't go make movies about Jewish people. They went and made movies about the same white people who hated them. And they made wonderful movies about them and promoted them and all of that and made money off of those movies. And as they got powerful, they started saying, well, we're not hiring you in the theater house. They start coming together. That's how you got United Artists Theaters. And give me some of the other big names. Regal Theaters. Those are the Regal. That's the so-called Jew. You understand? That's how they got all them big theaters and big theater, movie theater names. Wow. And that's how they kept the movies locked in. AMC. That's how they kept the American movie cinemas. American movie cinemas is the so-called Jew. They came together from them theater houses, and that's how they got popular. Go ahead, Like they was thinking on their game, which we should have been. And guess how they kept those theater houses open. When them theater houses couldn't make money, they were the ones that was putting out pornography. Right. You could go to the theater house and watch pornography because there was no such thing as a VHS tape back then. So you had to go to the theater, but you could only go to certain theaters, and it was the small theater houses owned by who? The so-called Jew. He was the one putting the pornography out. Then he got into the pornography movie making. He runs that too. Go ahead.
If I could, this is how bad it is. The so-called Jew invented commercial entertainment.
Yes, he did.
Like music, movies, gambling. Mm-hmm. It's his invention. Mm-hmm. And this is how powerful and unified they were. They don't worship Jesus or celebrate Jesus' birthday. And now none of us do. We worship Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer and Santa Claus and snowmen because they made all the Christmas movies, all the Christmas songs, and none of them, they don't mention Jesus in them because Jewish people wrote them.
Exactly.
And so now
Miracle on 34th Street.
Every last one. There is none, including Will Ferrell, the elf.
That's
the
right.
Elf, the Santa, the snowman,
all
the jingles, the white Christmas. It's all written by Jewish people, sold by Jewish people. And now none of us care that Jesus Christ's birthday is not on December 25th.
Yeah.
We care about the red nose.
Right. Yeah.
And the snowman and the elf.
That's right.
Because Jewish people own and invented commercial entertainment because they were unified by one law. Mm-hmm. They were unified. They came together with a common ancestry and a common law.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good idea.
Hey, sounds like a very good idea. Got over the top of everybody else. I was going to add something else, but I'll leave it alone. No sweat. Please, let's play it. This is a shame. And if I could, last point before you play it. And this is why we as a people are supposed to come together so strongly, because it don't matter how powerful you are in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. That don't even matter. This is a cat that's super. You know how powerful he is in Hollywood.
Yeah.
You know how he have a conference or a showing or whatever where he shows up. Every prominent Latino in the Latino world is going to be there, and this cat is told by his master, "You can't come out in the sun." You know how humiliating that is, and to show you how you need prophets, man. Prophets who don't care about nothing but raising your nation. That's who the Lord uses to fix the government. Go ahead, Salah.
Is this here?
I'm boycotting. I mean, if you don't have Latin people, there's no reason for me to see it. What's the point?
It doesn't matter how rich or poor you are, what Ivy League school you may go, may not go to, because chess is the great equalizer.
I'm just dying to see positive Latin stories out there. I mean, we got millions and millions of incredible historic figures, contributions, struggles in America. For 500 years, we got a plethora of stories. I want to see just a couple. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Like, we're 50% of the population of Los Angeles and less than 3% of the faces in front of the camera, less than 2% of the faces behind the camera, less than 1% of the stories being told by Hollywood streamers and networks. That's cultural apartheid. It's unbelievable that our stories aren't being told. And there's only one reason for that, and that's executives don't see us, don't get us, don't care about us. The executives at streamers, networks, Hollywood are just not casting us, not telling our stories. And it's not fair because we're 25% of the box.
Is Latino, and they don't even have to care whether you like it or not, because why? They control it from the beginning to the end. That old Edomite that they arrested for doing all that molestation and raping, what's his name? Epstein. No, not him. Weinstein. That so-called, you know how powerful that bastard was in Hollywood, man.
Jewish.
So-called Jew. Listen, and guess what? His security team was ex-Mossad agents from Israel.
Yeah.
That's who the security team is. Mossad is the Israeli military. There's not just the Israeli military, but the Israeli Special Forces military. They like the Israeli CIA. Yeah. And ex-CIA agents is working for him. First of all, you know how much you got to pay them to work for you? And second of all, why are ex-Israeli CIA agents or Mossad agents interested in bodyguarding this guy in Hollywood? Could it be because he has the ability to influence so much in one movie in terms of Jewish affairs? Like the power that they have. And then here's the thing. There's 5 companies that run every bit of our music, movies, television, everything we see. 5 white Jewish companies run all of it. I'm talking on the internet, all of it. They run it all. You don't have no black culture. You have a created culture that comes from them. They created it. They add what they want to it. They take away what they want to it. They make it what they want. You ain't shooting in the streets selling drugs because it's just you was woke up this way. You've been trained to be this way. Yeah. You've been systematically trained to think out that way. And listen, and in such a dumb way that's killing us. Like, boy, it's a little bit of gain for how many men under 25 to get murdered in America. Like the amount of gain wealth-wise for all the blood we lose it with one another, it's like, are we insane? No, we're not insane. We're being drilled every day by these companies that own what you think. They actually own your brain. You think you own your brain. You don't. They own your brain. You know when you get your brain back? When you come into the truth, read the scriptures and break from their mindset. That's right. Break from their brainwashing. That's right. Then you get your brain back. Right now, you don't own your brain. The black woman in America today, she is you can almost pop her out of a box. You can tell her attitude. You can tell what I could write down a list of 20 things that the black woman likes, dislikes, is angry about, is happy about. I could write it on a list. You could do a survey across the whole country, and I guarantee you 99% of the women will agree with that list. You know why? Simply because that's what they were taught. Yeah. They were taught this, and it's inside them. And black men and black women, you got to come out of the nightmare yesterday. Because if you do not, the nightmare is going to fall on your head, and you're not even going to realize where the hell it came from. Once again, why we are shouting on the mountaintop. Wake up, wake the hell up. Salaki, y'all. Let's get it in.
Next story.
Amazing. He can't even come out in the sun. John Leguizamo, you know how wealthy he is and frustrated. Like as he getting older later in his career, he's frustrated. He frustrated that he don't see no Latin movies. Yeah. He don't see none of that. And once again, his fault because they spent all them years in Hollywood getting that money and did not build any apparatus for ourselves.
That's correct. Yep.
We don't have, where's the black social media network that they can't shut off? Yep. Where's it at? Where's the black Facebook, the black Twitter? We the ones keeping all of them excited any damn way. They ain't on there watching white people from the Midwest on Instagram, on Twitter. They watching us. And that's what's the entertainment on them social medias. Where's ours? God. Well, I'm just letting y'all know I'm coming out with the ISUPK social media. Big shout out to General Shalmar and big shout out to General Korbalamov, both of them been working hand in hand with me tirelessly. I'm putting them through absolute hell. You understand? But it's a necessary hell, but we're gonna bring forth a hell of a social media that you're gonna love. And we're trying to just trying to get it done by Passover. We pressing on it. It's gonna be amazing. Give some place for your diet to curse everybody out and be able to be all right.
Right.
You on everybody else's network. Curse,
Everybody shut up.
Y'all, you gonna be able to go say, dismiss him. You gonna block him. You gonna be able to block everybody all night. He gonna have just what he needs.
Right.
Give him social media hell. Go ahead, Go ahead. What you gonna say?
My cousin, confession good for the soul. I was on Clubhouse today, and big shout out to all of us in the car. And the car made a comment today that got sisters into a frenzy. All the brothers, all what preaching officer 500 in the car said was, you sisters need to stop taking pregnancy photos with your belly out and your stretch mark completely nude. And sisters lost their mind, sir. Like lost their mind saying, who are y'all that tell us that we can't show off our pregnancy? And all of the cars said, I'm not trying to look at your stretch marks and all this other garbage, you know what I mean? Because first, you know what I mean, you promoting the OnlyFans throughout the metaverse. And now, you know what I mean, when you get pregnant being a whore, now you're still showing your body off with the baby bump. And then Captain Kapaj came in and brought up an excellent point, and so did Nakar, that child is going to grow up and see that. And see, you know what I mean, the timeline of, you know, their mother being a whore and still continue to be a whore while they're in the womb, sir. Select.
And if I could, I'm coming right back to you, Marah. And more, not more, but just as important is this. And I want to say this to every ISUPK officer. And big shout out to Captain Tazariak, too. He rocking Clubhouse out. Big shout out to him, too. Let me tell you something. It is important as prophets of God. It is important that you challenge all abnormalities against the scriptures. Like, it is important that don't be on got this social media just socialize. Be on there, raise the controversy like he did. Like, that was right that he did. Raise the controversy, because we've accepted so much evil and our voices have been shut down. But through the grace and mercy of the Lord, all these other avenues have opened up. Well, no problem. We'll go into those avenues and raise the question, because you ain't going to tell me that some 16, 17-year-old girl is pregnant. It didn't think twice to herself, do I want to show this picture with all my nakedness? I guarantee you she thought twice about it. And hopefully from the love of the brother and sisterhood, you said something that made her say, I ain't going to do it. This world teaches black women that they should not feel any shame, any embarrassment for whatever they do. Oprah Winfrey made a whole video about not being ashamed to have an abortion. She tried to wipe out that whole spirit that a woman has after she has an abortion and feels guilty. Well, guess what? Challenge it. Challenge it, UPK. Challenge it, officers. That's right, your job. That's what Christ called you to do. That's why he taught you those scriptures. He taught you those scriptures so you would challenge it. So what he did was so right to do, and it is what we should always do. And listen, and one thing that's beautiful about us, oh man, let me tell you something. One thing that is so beautiful about the 12 tribes of Israel is that we go with the trend. We always one body. Though nobody unified better than us. That's why no country was able to take us down when we were serving the Most High. That's right. Because nobody could unify from us. You go back and read them stories. Them sisters was chopping cats' heads off in them tents. Them heathens, they clip the nigga head off like you clip a chicken head off. You understand? And fool him all the way in the game. He come in there and see them beautiful tribes and be shocked because, of course, his woman don't look nothing like that. He get comfortable, brother. She chop his goddamn head off, and it'd be a win in the nation. Nobody unifies like these 12 tribes. So because we unify, we go with the trend. So either Satan is going to teach our women everything that he's been teaching them, or our men are going to challenge it. And who better to challenge it than UPK officers who are so intellectually superior in their knowledge of the truth and their knowledge of biblical law? By challenging it, you in essence raise the question. And it is your job to raise the question. And so big shout out to, who was it that did this?
Officer in the car.
Big shout out to Officer in the car, man, that raised that issue. Because why should you? We don't want to see your naked ass. You done got pregnant by a brother, man, and you lost something that's so precious to do that. You lost the holiness of you being a woman. You lost something that will inevitably wipe out your femininity. Let me tell you something. A woman that takes off her clothes without any care loses all her femininity, even if she doesn't want to. If you take off all your clothes and have no shame when a man looks at your naked body, you should ask yourself a question, why? Because what has happened to you is you have been masculine. You have been made masculine because that's what a man is supposed to be able to do. A woman is supposed to be shameful to show the beauty of her body because it's supposed to be precious. It's supposed to be something that she gives away as a deeply emotional event. That's what's supposed to happen. Now, if you let the beast take that away from you and you're willing to put it on social media, then you've lost your femininity. And once again, because the society accepts it, you sisters out here don't even know how much they stealing from you. They stealing every bit of you as a woman, and you don't even see that they stealing it from you.
Right.
And on top of that, this is why, and this is just, if you just don't even want to go biblical, here's why I don't understand why you do it, for this reason. Because the thing that I think about the most is this. Simple, and I'll put it this way to make it even clear. If somebody puts a naked picture of me up on the internet, and I hope none of my ex. Let me stop. I'm joking, of course. I'm joking. But if somebody puts a naked picture of you up on the internet or some revealing part of you, it's bad enough that everybody sees it. But what about the creeps? Like, don't you feel some sense of some molester, some deviant, some rapist, some horrible human being is now being motivated by watching your half-naked pregnant belly for whatever he may be? I mean, like, you could be creating Hannibal Lecter. Like, don't you have some sense of, I don't want to be a part of that. You know what I mean? But you so dumb. And you dumb because, once again, they destroyed your education system. Yeah. And then you just learn, so you had to learn from YouTube or TikTok or Facebook or TV or any other device that they had that taught you. Wake up. It is your job, prophets of the Lord, ISUPK. Do your job. Big shout out again to Nakar for doing that, man. That was strong. Go ahead, John.
If I can, sir, those same creeps, this is the internet. This is Google. Everything's connected.
Yeah.
They can find your location.
Yes.
With your OnlyFans and all your out of the mother sites,
with all that metadata and all that they collecting now.
They go find out just where you at and taking them pictures at, and they want to meet you up close in person.
Yep.
You understand?
Meet you and possibly eat you.
There you go.
Yeah.
If I can say one quick thing, and this is something that, of course, stupid women in the world, and just so brothers know, those women on Clubhouse, those women, those are women in the world, but there are sisters in the UPK that would never shame themselves like that.
Oh, for sure.
Like that's women in the world who are disgusting. And here's what the truth is. Morality, shame, and the belief in God are the only things that separate us from the animals.
Right.
That's it. I know something else that doesn't care about being naked in public. A dog.
That's right.
A chimpanzee.
That's right.
They're naked every day. You know what? They don't feel embarrassed
at all.
A dog. You know what else? And they'll have sex right in front of you. A dog has sex not because it's proper or it's decent, but because that bitch is in heat.
That's it.
And so she has sex. And they do it right there in front of you. And they don't care about wearing clothing. And they don't care about what they eat. They don't make a difference between pork and shrimp either. Morality is why we're not animals. Shame is why we are not dogs humping in heat naked. Morality, the belief in God. And when you're on the side of getting more naked, of having more lewd sex, of not caring about law, then you are on the side of creating animals.
Yes.
Then we're dogs and cats and monkeys who have sex in public. Some sister called me and said, is it wrong for a woman to breastfeed in public? And I said, well, do you have puppies? Because if you got puppies, no. Just pull out your teats and suckle. But if you're a human with shame and dignity, cover yourself.
That's right.
But
sir.
my dog, Commander Gen.YAHANNA's dog, oh, she'll suckle them pups right there with the teats in the middle of the damn floor. She don't care. But we're not supposed to be animals who just pull out two tits and suckle babies in front of everybody, or else we're animals.
Yeah.
Shame, dignity, morality. And guess what? Animals do not believe in God.
No, they don't.
None. They don't have no concept of that. No. They can't even fathom anything other than eating and sex. And your religions turn you into an animal.
That's heavy. I think you brought that out in the class recently, General, when the Lord said, when the angel said to the Lord, let us make man in our image. That's how he made us in his image. He separated us from the regular animal. Before that, we was animals like them.
Naked.
But, you know what I'm saying?
Having sex wherever. No law, no rules. And then, damn, he dignified us, man. You fighting for less clothing? You don't want clothes. Damn, that's a pretty big invention, clothes. Kind of saved lives and saved the human race. Clothing.
Kind of made society.
I think so.
Yeah, man.
You against clothes?
Yeah, man. That's like, yeah, man. You want to who know? You trying to go back there.
Right.
Yeah,
You want
man.
naked? Just,
And okay, and big shout out to the sister that at least asked the question. Because once again, the fact that she had to ask the question shows you how far she and so many of us have been removed from who we are. You understand? And it was merciful that she asked the question, and thanks be to Yahweh that General Muhammad and the ISUPK was here to answer it for her. And that's how we fix who we are. You understand? That's how we get back to who we are. By doing those things, man, by taking back our identity, man, and taking back our culture and our dignity, man. You understand? The scripture said that Adam and Eve knew that they were naked, meaning they knew that they were living an adverse lifestyle and tried to hide themselves rather than repent and do what they were supposed to do, tried to hide. Now we know better. We are to repent.
Right.
And turn back to the Most High.
Right.
You understand? Rather than stay in that state of, total degradation as a being. Salaki, that's you die. Go ahead. No, let him in. Yeah, Salaki.
Salaki, sir, if I could. Now we played this video a few times, but I gotta play this. If I could play it, just because it's so heavy. Like the person you look up to knows what she's doing. She knows that she's naked and what she does and her shame. She knows your favorite rapper knows they're shameful. They know what they're doing. They know what they're selling. I was trying to find another video of a sister. She just got signed. And she crying on TikTok talking about she can't do, like she made a mistake. She can no longer do what she want to do. They own her. Basically, she she sold herself basically in a contract to say that whatever they want her to do, that's what she has to do now. She is now whoever she signed on that contract. But here's an example.
And that's why there's so many fights over them contracts, because of course, who's putting those contracts together? So-called Jew. He's putting them contracts together, which means you give up your soul. That's why David Chappelle was so upset, because they said when he figured out what he had signed, I mean, it was his whole soul. They said the likeness, the image, for all eternity throughout the entire universe. The contract said it. It said throughout the entire universe for all eternity forever. It was like ridiculous. Yeah. And that's what he was bringing out, how it was so ridiculous, the contracts that they have you sign, because now they own it and they willing to own us. And we should have done and could have done the same thing if the black church and the black mosque wasn't so vile.
Right.
We could have done this a long time ago. Murad Salaki, finish what you saying.
And if I can, Murad, before you play the video, if this is the video I think it is, Murad, it goes to show, like Murad bringing out, like our people we choose to do vile, disgusting, and shameful things, and we know it's shameful, but they know that their audience is vile and disgusting and like this shameful shit. And that's where they get their money. Excuse my French. And so they do these shameful things, knowing it's shameful, until innocency, till something innocent see them, like a priest or like one of us. Well, I remember years ago, Gen.YAHANNA and them used to do this slavery. I think they was on the phone selling. I forget with Shikuman and back in the day. And one sister that had worked there, they happened to be leaving some club, and some of the people with the slavery was there, and he caught her pissing in the middle of the street, drunk and pissing in the street, and she looked up and said, "Oh my God, the Israelites!" in full out shame. Her whole ass just seemed like a priest of God pissing out in the street. I forgot. And she was shamed to no end. But this video we're about to show, she ain't shamed.
What was you doing looking at that? I'm joking.
She was out in the middle of the street.
Yeah, I know. He probably was like, "What?"
He had to walk up on like, "What?" Oh Lord, God sees me. So this video just, I mean, the mentality like y'all bringing out of doing these shameful things and okay with it because my audience is shamed. These are my people.
Yeah.
Until something else outside of that see you where you should have morality with, and then you feel the shame. You know what I'm saying,
brother? Listen, you so right, and it is so what the churches were supposed to do.
God.
Like they were supposed to be that, and they had respect for themselves. It was like, don't talk against a preacher, or watch your mouth when you're talking to the preacher, or watch your mouth when you're talking to the church, but never make sure that the church is teaching us to have the highest level of morals and standards that we could ever have, so that we could be just as holy as they're claiming themselves to be. That never came into play. So what you're saying is so heavy and so right. And listen, and it is their fault. Like God don't give you a pass if you allow the people to descend into immorality.
Right.
He don't give you no goddamn pass. You better do your job. And that's why what I brought out with Yediah is so on point in this respect, that it is our job to raise these questions and challenges, man, and to make sure they get raised, because without them being raised, this is what happens. Salakia. What you saying is so right, General Maya. Salakia.
I mean, Morale. Please, get it on.
The song is saying there's some whores in this house. The WAP song.
Remember that she shut the video off because she knew what she was doing was in essence nigh on the pornography.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
She doesn't care that your daughter is watching.
Right.
She's fine with that.
Right. Right.
But not her daughter.
But not her daughter. And once again, why you to be a man of God, you better be prepared for this suffering, because see, for her to uphold that level of morality, she would have to turn down that money.
Yeah.
And that's a whole lot of money to turn down. And the only way she could turn that money down is if her nation accepts her and is working towards helping her without that money.
That's it.
Otherwise, she got to abandon her people and take that money from the slave master, at least in her mind, and do the immoral thing. And if your children can accept it, if the slave master is going to pay her millions to teach your children to be a whore, even though she knows it's better in protecting her children, then they don't give a damn about your children. Jewish kids ain't listening to there's hoes in the house. No. They ain't listening to that. They go into the daggone synagogue on Saturday and the yeshiva all week long. Listen, and it's a joke that there's integration. The yeshivas are filled with so-called Jews.
Yeah.
They educate their children separate from every other nation. Their children don't go to school with Italians.
Nope.
The children ain't going to school with black people and Africans, and their children ain't going to school multicultural, and nobody ever questions them about it. Nope. Nobody calls them racist or white supremacists or Jewish supremacists or nothing. Their kids get educated separate from everybody else, and their kids have a separated mentality, which is why they'll build Hollywood, make movies that denigrate you and not themselves. It's a damn shame. Go ahead, Mara.
If I could say one last thing, sir, if I may, just to back up what y'all was saying, and just if I could, sir, the water to y'all for everything y'all did, all the way from way back in '69 all the way to now, everything that y'all have done for the truth. If I may, I had 2 DHS workers on separate occasions, don't even notice, tell me the white man was the devil.
God,
tell me straight up, say it out their mouth.
Services.
Child services. Tell me that the white man was the devil. Both say one
and they working for him.
And they work for him. They said, man, and it's crazy because people hear what we saying and they just choose not to do it, man. And they choose not to do it because the mass majority is just like them. They got the okay to sin from their pastor and they agree with it. But with us, it's like, now I do understand what they're saying. But when it's holes in your house, literally every day, all days of the week, then if you weak, then you're gonna side with that and not go with the logical and correct thing to do. But they do hear what our brothers and what y'all have been doing for so long, sir, and just teaching. They definitely hear it, sir. Like if I could, sir, and that's the Most High right there. They just don't have the correct leadership.
Listen, it's the Most High, and know this, that Christ said, "The least in the kingdom of heaven shall be greater than John." Like the Lord is going to raise up brothers and sisters in this truth that are going to be completely and totally loyal to Christ.
Yep.
And they ain't going to care about money or anything. And because of it, they're going to get all the money. Yep. Because they don't care about it, they're going to get all the money. Because they're going to really care about this work of the Most High. And it is why we should keep our moral compass. Because them brothers and sisters, the sad part is they know the white man's the devil, but they know the white man is also the one feeding them. And they know, and in their mind, without the white man feeding me, I don't have a choice but to capitulate to this. And once again, that's why we should never be criminals. We should never be criminals. We should never sell drugs. If you sell drugs, you're a witch. You're a warlock. That's what you are. Okay. And we should never be criminals. And here's why. Because black people should be able to live in extreme poverty and extreme safety at the same time. Just imagine for a minute if you was in extreme poverty in the worst ghetto in the city that you live in. But in that ghetto and in that poverty, there was no drugs being sold. There was no crime going on in that city. Everybody was working together and helping one another and keeping their eye on the slave master. You would then be more willing to stay poor to keep your morals than to have to be forced to make money to get out of the ghetto so that you don't have to be subject to all of the things that happen in the ghetto. And so black people being stuck say to themselves, that's why they fighting to be ball players, fighting the rappers all the rappers being killed by their own homies. You know what I mean? They man, right-hand man blowing their damn brains out because they all in this hood. They all in this poverty. They all struggling to make this money. They all committing crimes to make this money. And it's like, you have to do it or you won't get out. Right. And if you can't get out, you're going to be subject to all of the problems that go on in the ghetto. When the ghetto could be an absolutely amazing place. And the ghetto could rise up to be a very powerful place if you could take away the elements of Satan.
That's right.
If you didn't have to sell your real estate because you all helped each other, then your real estate would go up and these bastards wouldn't be able to steal it and gentrify your neighborhood and then send you to rent someplace for twice what your goddamn mortgage was. You know how many black people right now, we've been here 400 years. Do you know how many black people pass on their homes to their children? Less than 5%.
That's it.
Less than 5% of black people that own their homes get to pass it on to their children. You know what usually happens? You take out a loan against the place, and then they move to an apartment or go to a nursing home or move in with a family member, and the mortgage company takes the damn house. Because they take what little equity they can and can't pay off the house because they've been getting mortgages on the house. 20 years in, they done had 4 or 5 mortgages. Like we doing everything against what Christ said to do in terms of brotherhood and love for one another. And as a result, we're making our life 10 times harder and the predator's life 10 times easier.
Come.
He gets to come in and you don't want to live in the ghetto. No problem. Pay me $2,000 a month. Ain't no problem. You don't want to live in. You know how much money do you paying for mortgages, man? Which is against the scriptures. Usury is against the scriptures. It's against the scriptures to give somebody money on interest. And the Lord made it such a serious law because he understood what it does. It enslaves you. So you go out and get a house, you paying a mortgage for 30 years. The house might be $100,000. By the time you pay the mortgage off, you paid them $300,000. And you poor. You ain't repair the house, ain't do nothing. And then some predator come along, man, give you a few dollars and steal it again, gentrified it. It's just a horrible, horrible situation that could easily be fixed. Could easily be fixed by coming against them. I went to Egypt, right? And I was in Egypt, and there was a neighborhood that I saw in Egypt that had these buildings that was up. And the guy was telling us about the neighborhood and the people in the neighborhood. And he said to himself, when he was talking, he said, yeah, I wish my family had one of those apartments back then, man, for $5 for one of those apartments, man, they living so good for $5 a month. And I said, what? He said, yeah, man, the rents are only $5 a month. Beautiful apartments. I said, how is it that the rent is only $5 a month? He said, because if you're an Egyptian and you own one of these apartments, they cannot raise the rent on you. And some of these people have had these apartments for 3 or 4 generations. I said, whoa. So they paying, the building been paid off. They're paying $5 a month rent, and they done had the thing for 3 generations. And the landlord can't raise the rent and run them out of it. So he got to maintain the building or sell the building, and it don't matter. They pay $5 a month rent. So I don't know what section this was. I can't recall, but I know that was some smart. That was like, that's when you care about the people that's underneath you, because now they live in, and now their whole life ain't paying you, $1,500 a month rent, like, which is black people's lives now, which means she got to now go, knowing he's the devil. She got to go still be a DHS agent, do evil stuff to you to make them cases close, all because she got to right now. And here's the sad part: she got to do it for the money, and many of them sisters would do it for the love of them babies. Like, for the love of them babies, them sisters would go and deliver them babies out of them homes and do it righteously. And here's what, once again, boy, oh boy, I know these scriptures and I know this Bible, brother. I may not be able to find every little scripture. I'm getting up there. No, but I understand this Bible, and I understand this work of the Most High well. And let me tell you what's going to happen, man, after a while. Sisters and brothers are going to become great volunteers. And they're going to volunteer for a whole, like 50 or 60% of your life is about to become volunteer. Because that's how much of your life is going to be needed to fix your nation. And you're not going to get paid for it, because this bastard is not going to pay you, because he don't want you to fix your people and your nation. But you are going to do it because you're going to believe in the Most High. And brother, you're going to watch your nation rise up like you've never seen before. And it is going to shock these Edomites and these other nations. Like the scriptures say, that they stood upon their feet. Can I get one quick one in there? I know we're eating the time. Just one scripture on that. That one where it said they rose up and stood upon their feet. That and fear fell over them. I think it's Revelation. Ezekiel. My bad. Give me that one scripture. Like, that's what's going to happen with you, because your mind is going to be changed from the brainwashing you've been in for 400 years. And you're going to do something amazing. And let me tell you something. There is nothing more powerful than a person that volunteers to help other people and does it without the money. You can't stop them. No. They won't be stopped. They won't have nobody over them. They won't do nothing but what it is that they do, because they're doing it for something that's invisible. They're not doing it to impress you. They're not doing it for you to give them a paycheck. They ain't doing it for a pat on the back. They're doing it for the genuine love of the people that they're helping, and they're doing it before the Most High power to be acknowledged. And those people, Christ is going to call into the body of Christ, and he's going to rock the world with them. They're going to do stuff that's going to shock you out of your mind, and they're going to come from all walks of life, not just poverty, not just wealthy, from every bit of the spectrum. That's where they're coming from. Give it to me.
Khan, sir, the book of Ezekiel, chapter 37 and verse 10. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived and stood up upon their feet.
Brother, I love this scripture. Oh, it's so our life. You take little broken black men, Latino men, Native Indian men and women that been on drugs and been criminals and been educated and been in great houses and entertaining in sports. And you take them, man, and you give them this knowledge, and they do what? Read it again.
Kana Wakan, sir. So I prophesied.
And they prophesy what's in this book, what the world has not told about this book. Go ahead.
Kana Wakan, sir. As he commanded me, and the breath came into them.
And the breath came into them means that they finally took on these scriptures. From hearing this knowledge, you take on these scriptures and you begin to change. Get me right on it, man.
Oh, yeah.
You begin to change and become a different person. That's what it means. It means you've read these scriptures. You said, oh, snap, I didn't know that. I didn't know that God wanted this or didn't want that. Yeah. And then you begin to be somebody different. And now you start to do things different. And you go ahead.
Kana Wakan, sir. And they live.
And they what?
And they live.
You start to walk down a path of life because you're walking down a path of death right now. That's why we killing. Listen, these cities in America are descending into chaos now. Total chaos, man. Now, ordinary people are having to defend themselves. I just heard about a Uber driver just shot somebody else. Somebody tried to rob him and he blew him away. Like, you're going to hear about a lot of that because that means you're descending into chaos. Okay? That means society is breaking apart because of everything that's going on. Go ahead. They live. Come on.
Kana Wakan, sir. And stood up upon their feet.
That's the one, brother. And that stood up upon their feet, meaning they stood up to do the job of an adult, of a man, of a woman. They stood up against all the tools you use to oppress them, man. Right. To destroy them, to brainwash them, to wipe out their mindset. They stood on their feet. Go ahead.
Kana Wakan, sir. An exceeding great army.
Oh, this should be on the plaque. This right here. Somebody put this on a plaque, man, and laminate this for me, please.
Kana Wakan.
Put it on a plaque, man. Hit it with some polyurethane. Make it beautiful. Put this joint up in the studio in here. And they stood upon their feet, a great and exceeding army. Why? Why did they need a great and exceeding army? Because they needed an overwhelming force to fight the evil among our people. Yeah. An overwhelming force to fight the oppression of this beast that's been over us. I'm sorry, I'm running. Finish it. I'm getting up off of it.
Verse 11. Then he said unto me, Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel.
Yeah. That's right. That's right, Joe. Yes, sir.
That's what we hanging our hope on,
yes,
right
sir.
there.
Yes, sir.
These bones are the whole house of Israel. And they're going to live. Despite what they've been through. Salaki.
That's right, gentlemen.
No, let's stop right there.
389. We got two good stories. We got the story about the brat having a baby with another woman.
Let me just bring this one scripture in, if I could. Go ahead.
I think it's the one you called for earlier.
Let's just read that one real quick, General, if I could. And then I'll come right back to him.
Third chapter, 8, 9, verse.
I ain't going to run on. I ain't even going to say it. Y'all going to break it down. So y'all can be quick, because I know I get on a full one scripture. I'm in the full, diatribe over this. It's like I live it in the scripture. I'm there. I'm saying, like I'm in there with Ezekiel. Like, you see all this? God, yo, man. Like, and if I could, real quick, real quick. Listen, if you don't live in it, they want you to go live in the metaverse.
Right.
Don't go live in the metaverse. Go live in the Israel verse.
That's right.
Like, they want you to live in the metaverse. You need to fall into the Israel verse. You need to fall into the world that we had here and put that world here.
Right.
Instead of that world, they want you to fall. They want to take this evil, wicked world and then put you in it virtually. For what? Yeah. This is what the hell we've been living in, this mess.
Right.
No, don't do that. Leave this world, but still don't go to that one. Instead, go into the Israel verse and live in that world. Dress like them, talk like them, eat like them, judge like them, read like them, study like them, raise your kids like them.
That's right, gentlemen.
Have your marriage like them. Enjoy brotherhood like them, teach like them, prophesy like them, live in the Israel verse.
Right.
That's where I live at.
That's right, sir. You're right,
you know what I mean? I've already been in the Israel verse. I've been living in there already. I don't even know what's out here. I don't even know what's going on out here. I know it's snow out there. That's all I know. It's snow on the ground. But other than that, I don't even know what's going on out
There's a whole different spirit to come into this truth, John. That's when you read these scriptures. I'm sitting there with Jeremiah, listening to him teach them brothers on that pulpit with the brothers around. I'm there with him, sitting listening. It's like that when you come into this truth and read this Bible. And that's why we're a whole nother world according to the scriptures and according to the world.
Yeah,
we so different because we walk on the grounds that they walk on, and walking there with them and hearing them, and you seeing black people. I mean, that's the beauty of this thing, because you see your people, but them words come to life. In other words,
yes, sir.
Man, they come alive. Go ahead, I'm getting out of it. Go ahead.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 3 and verse 8. Behold, I have made thy face strong against their faces, and thy forehead strong against their foreheads. As an adamant harder than flint have I made thy forehead. Fear them not, neither be dismayed at their looks, though they be a rebellious house.
You know what I mean? Though we rebel. Go ahead, please. That was it? I think that's it. We good? Let's get them two.
I think it's the one about the basketball player and the brat.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Oh, yeah. Was that it? Was that the two big ones? The brat with having a baby with another woman. The brat is a woman.
Okay.
Had a baby with another woman somehow.
And
the basketball player did something. That one that has a little boy.
Oh, yeah, that's a big. That one.
Yeah, who's
Dwayne Wade.
The brat first, Dwayne Wade last.
Okay.
The brat and girlfriend Judy DeRat announced they're expecting first child.
What's her name?
The brat and girlfriend Judy DeBrat.
Say one more time.
Judy DeBrat or the rat?
The brat.
Judy DeBrat.
Judy DeBrat.
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 Oh, Duprat.
Duprat.
Okay.
Carnival Khan announced they're expecting first child.
That is something. That is a big story.
Please tell me how they did it. I want to know.
Duprat. Yeah, D-U-P.
The Bartholin gland. The Bartholin gland.
That's an immaculate conception.
Yes. The Bartholin gland got her pregnant.
Go ahead. Any more?
Carnival Khan, sir. Says on Monday, January 31st, the brat and girlfriend Jessica revealed they're expecting their first child as well. Although they didn't provide any specifics, they did write in the caption, "We are extending the family."
And if I could, Marah, find that picture. They caught the brat one day dressed up like a woman, and they were shocked.
You gotta see this one.
It was all over social media. Go ahead.
Make that one bigger.
Go ahead.
Man, Commander GEN.YAHANNA. Not that one. The one where they announced the pregnancy.
What you talking about? Service is just like a woman.
No,
we got to be the big one. No, this is the one where they announced the pregnancy with the girl.
That's the girl there.
That's the girl. So you can't really see it here,
brother. That's a crime against humanity.
You see the problem here?
That's the girl there.
Uh-huh.
Brother, that is a crime against humanity.
Somehow the brat got her pregnant. I don't know if y'all know, brothers and sisters out there, but two women can't have babies.
That's right, sir.
Right. I know you haven't been to college, but two women cannot have babies. I'll explain if I could, sir, what's going here. The brat is the one that's paying everybody's rent and giving up all the money, but there's some brother that is tying fire to that girl right there and tearing her up and getting her pregnant. And of course, the brat is the one paying for the entire thing because loneliness is so terrible. This goes back to the story you were bringing out earlier about the naked belly, the naked woman. People are lonely, terribly lonely. And loneliness is, it's such a cruel enemy, loneliness. And lesbianism is just quitting. Yep. That's all lesbianism is. Lesbians are just quitters. Yep. A lesbian is just someone who has given up hope, who has decided that there is no way that I could ever find a man to love me, so I quit. That's it, I'm done, and they have just given up. And of course, if you give up, you can find some lonely girl like the brat who you can say you're having a baby with her, when really a man had sex with you and a man put a baby inside that thick girl there.
Mm-hmm.
And the brat sit there and paid for all the money, is going to pay for the house and pay for the kid and pay for everything. And that girl, her Duprat, is going to have sex with a man all the time.
Not already.
She definitely is doing it, having sex with a man right now, and going to continue to have sex with a man. But the brat is lonely and scared to death, and now living in some imaginary world where two women can have a baby, and they call us crazy. Everybody calls us crazy. Meanwhile, these two women made a baby announcement, and we're the crazy ones.
Yeah,
we're the crazy. The brat said, "Hey, me and my girl are having a baby, and she's not crazy, but yet we have to be called lunatics and cult members." Anyway, here's another one. That's the one story. Show Commander General Yahanna the other one if I could. I don't even understand what this one is about. This cat did something.
Oh, this is okay. What's Kwame Brown deserves the credit. Another brother here with some goddamn courage. Big shout out to Kwame Brown, man. You know what I mean? Kwame Brown and those like him, and that old LeBron James. Give it up for him. And them brothers that stand, Kaepernick and all of them brothers that's standing up, man. Them brothers is putting millions of dollars on the line. And millions of dollars on the line for black people that they know these people are using to make them suffer. There go the brat. The brat. Look at all that thing the brat got up. This is a crime right here. So you couldn't get away with this in the Christ Kingdom.
That's somebody's father.
Yikes.
But we're crazy.
We crazy. That's gonna be a daddy. She's gonna be a daddy.
Call herself
She's gonna be a daddy.
Yeah. Baby. That's somebody's pop.
Somebody's baby
That's
daddy.
somebody's pop.
Somebody's daddy. This is crazy. That's heavy. Let's go.
Go on, sir. Kwame Brown takes latest aim at Dwayne Wade.
If you can get the picture of him in Kobe Bryant's sweat hood, which this is so vile. Kobe Bryant is dead. Was beloved by black people. His wife is suing right now, the police department out there because the helicopter crashed. Them bastards went out there, took pictures of Kobe Bryant and his daughter, dead bodies, and sold the pictures to the tabloid. Which is so like California. And so she's suing them right now because they exposed him and the daughter and just shamed them. Well, this low-life piece of dog meat, I don't know who this cat is, but I know they paying this bastard for this. I can guarantee you there's some disgusting child molesting group that's paying him this. If you can, get the picture with his son in the...
There's the one that's popular now. That picture is out right now.
There it is. If you can get the full shots. Now that's Kobe Bryant's jersey.
Right.
He somehow obtained a dress for his son with Kobe Bryant's jersey on the damn dress. And now his son is walking around with a Kobe Bryant jersey dress. And Kwame Brown got mad about that thing, man, as he should have. You know what I mean? And he spoke against him, and thanks be to the Lord, he got a voice that could say something about this. And let me tell you something, Mark. It was a time, Mark, when people in prominence did not say nothing. There was a time when we was doing this fight with nobody saying a word about nothing. We had to do it from, that's why you think we was on the street corners.
Right.
We was on the street corners. It was the only place you could go to say what we said.
Right.
You couldn't get on no radio, no TV, no cable, nothing.
That's right, sir.
You could only say these things on the street because it was the only place they couldn't lock, and they would still lock us up over that.
Tell them to come.
Well, finally, this brother sitting up in a powerful seat in the so-called basketball world spoke out against this low life. This is a real low life sodomite that did this to his son. Go ahead, let's read the story. I didn't mean to take all the time up.
Brown criticized Wade for allowing his transgender daughter to wear a Kobe Bryant dress.
Like the fact that he called him a transgender daughter. That's a boy dressed up in a dress, and one with Kobe Bryant letters on it to shame Kobe Bryant. Keep going now, because I wanted you to get to what Kobe Bryant's wife had to say about it.
Connor will come. Just lock him. His latest rant regards Zaya Wade, the transgender daughter of former Miami Heat legend Dwayne Wade. Brown was critical of Zaya wearing a dress with Kobe Bryant's jersey attached. Kobe Bryant's children are not honoring him by wearing a dress.
Right. In other words, his own children aren't out there putting on dresses to honor him. Why the hell are you doing it? Doing it to make a statement and to publicize this transgender spirit. Once again, it ain't gonna just be what we grow into. This is calculated. This is this is just like the movies, just like the music, just like the radio. Yeah. This is also something that they decided that the black community was going to accept, and here they are spending the money to push it. This ain't a natural thing, man. This is somebody's agenda, and our lives have to be destroyed because some rich Edomite somewhere decides that black people have to be transgender.
Yeah, yeah.
So they have to influence us all and poison us all to do it. So I
was going to say, John Hopkins did a study on this homosexuality and came out and said this is a learned behavior. This is taught to people. It ain't something you're born with.
Yeah.
Now, you can try to say what we saying is wrong. When you challenge John Hopkins University, they did a study and said it's something that's taught. It's a learned behavior. And they taught it to the Black, Hispanics, Native Indians to bring it out like this here.
You're right.
That's what they did.
And if I could, what you're going to find out is these people who are famous, so-called homosexuals, you're going to find out that they're just doing this to be famous.
Yeah.
Like this little boy here, I bet you he can't play basketball. Yeah. I bet you he got no jump shot at all.
No dribble.
But he can put on a dress. So he knows that if he's going to be famous, the boy is famous now. He's famous everywhere, famous for wearing dresses and not for a jump shot at all. But now he's famous.
Insane. You got more on the story? No. Get to where his wife said, because I read the story. His wife had something to say about it. Write down. Keep reading down on that.
Connor Khan. It says Brown said on his Bus Life YouTube show on Thursday, Kobe Bryant's wife is not honoring him by wearing a dress.
He said Kobe Bryant's wife ain't wearing a Kobe Bryant sweatshirt dress. Like, why the hell you got your son doing it? Because it's just vile. Go ahead,
Connor Khan. Says Kobe Bryant, he said Kobe Bryant was a masculine man. Brown felt like Zaya Wade's dress was not representative of what Kobe Bryant embodied.
Right. He was a masculine man. He wasn't feminine. Yeah. Like, you want to change his image to be feminine.
Yeah.
When he was a masculine man. Like, you trying to honor him, then why don't honor him in the masculinity that he was in?
Right.
Which is once again them trying to change history and the narrative of the life that we live.
Yeah. And you know, he got
that was it.
I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That was it. Go ahead.
He still got daughters. He got a couple of daughters still. They're not doing this here.
Exactly.
They ain't dressing like this here. Once again, sir, this is all being taught. It's a learned behavior. Like, they trying to teach us with him and with Will Smith's kid the same thing. That these star sons, this is how you become a star now, by being this and doing this here. Like Lil Nas X. It's a learned behavior.
He'll be in movies. He'll be in movies or some podcast or make an appearance at the Super Bowl.
They'll put him on Vogue magazine.
He'll become Woman of the Year in Teen magazine. He'll be the Teenage Woman of the Year. What he needs to do is go join a girls basketball team and become the greatest girls basketball player in the history of all basketball, which is what all those transgender men do. They go sign up for female sports and they break all the records, and women's groups say nothing about it. And they knock your little girl's teeth out of her head on a hockey field and give her a concussion and then win the championship, and nobody complains.
Mm-hmm. 10:59. Damn right. Wait a minute. What are those big stories you got before we run? What did we miss? Some goodies you had in there. Before we go, fam, let's check a few links here. Huh? Which one? Wait a minute, that was big, but wait a minute, what else you got up in there? Huh? What about the HBCUs with the bomb threat? What'd you say about what was the other one you brought? Yeah, let's bring that out. What else we got? You got some other good ones that was in there, was pretty big. It hits. Go ahead. What else? They might hit those on Saturday. Go ahead. Hey, big shout out to all the brothers, man. General Hazayan and all the brothers, man, that rocked it out on Saturday, man. Kahantam Yad, Mashak Mayan, Naya Thak. I'm not sure everybody that was there. Kaposh was up in there last week, man. Y'all got that Saturday show rocking and rolling, man. It's a really nice show, man. Good work, y'all. Good work out there. Oh, yeah. Let's do the nurses real quick. And then the other one you mentioned, the HBCUs. Real quick. Go ahead, General.
I remember now.
Okay.
Anything
else we missing? Any other bigger ones we missed? I think those is it, right? Let's do them real quick. We ain't got but a minute more.
Ukraine.
Yeah.
Ukraine was.
Yeah, it was pretty
It was
big.
a big story.
That's true. That's true. We could go back to that.
Khan.
You want to do that instead? You saying?
No, I'm just giving you the big story.
Okay. Go ahead.
Khan. Nurses made $1.5 million selling fake vaccination cards. Prosecutors say
it's a mess. Now it's a mess. And we said it again in the beginning that they would be selling them vaccination cards. It was at one time when the vaccines first hit New York, the so-called Jew was moving whole containers of the vaccines out from the what's them things, the emergency things you go to, little like medical facilities. What are they
urgent
called?
care.
Urgent care. They were taking out whole containers of vaccines out of the urgent care, saying they don't know what happened to it. Now the nurses them become gangsters, man. They selling fake vaccine cards, $1.5 million worth of them. That's a lot of vaccine cards.
Hell yeah.
And they just got caught. And so you know it's going. This is a very wicked and corrupt world. And returning to Christ is the only way you come up out of it. Go ahead, I read a little bit more real quick. Just trying to rush through it because I know we're short on time.
Khan, sir. It says now Devon and an employee are accused of selling fake vaccination cards and entering them into a state database. Authorities say the pair from Long Island left behind a ledger recording profits of more than $1.5 million in less than 3 months.
3 months. The Edomites bought up them cards like crazy. That wasn't Jake buying them cards. Those was Edomites. Jake was buying them too. But mainly that's that so-called Jew, and the Edomites was out there buying up them cards. 3 months. Even a drug dealer can't raise that much cash on the streets in 3 months. They raised $1.5 million. That's everybody that didn't want to take a vaccine but needed the card because the government can't get right to go to work. They all bought them cards. And these two were putting it in the database, man. What a mess. Which means more death because tons of people gonna have the virus. And all you fake preachers, all you fake Israelite groups that got out there and said, Gen.YAHANNA, he messed up this time. He gonna be cut off. See, he didn't know what he was talking about. He messed up now. Ha ha ha, nigga. You quiet as you can damn be right now, huh? You quiet. You got up on the airway talking all that bullshit. Excuse my French. And come to find out, everybody dropping dead didn't take the vaccine. You understand? And now, sure, we sit over here healthy as a horse. I'm healthy as a bull. I might come out with a 6-pack. Yo, man, I was messing with my friend the other night. I said, you better watch out. Here I come, boy. I'm on top of my game right now. Now, y'all can tell me something. You can tell what you said, man.
I was up in the mirror. I said, hey, my rib. I said, damn, Quadashi, you see a nigga lately? I said, you ain't never been with a slim fine man.
like you ain't want to listen to the prophets of the Lord, and death is in the streets.
Yeah.
Like the people that didn't die in Egypt were the people that listened to Moses. The people that ain't gonna die now are the people that listen to the ISUPK and Command and General Yahanna. You the ones gonna live, okay?
Damn right.
We telling you right according to these scriptures, okay? And so they selling them now because it's gonna be a mess. And guess what? And they coming. I ain't gonna say it. Mama don't want me to say it. I ain't gonna say it. But they got something sweet coming for you next year too. This one coming next year. They already know it's coming. The scientists is already in there like, we don't know what's going to happen. It's already coming. I got the word straight out of D.C. They came up and let me know, yo, this is what it's going. This is how it's going down. Next year, we don't know what to do. We can't stop it. It's going to be bad. I ain't going to say nothing. I'm going to wait till it come out. Then I'm going to tell you about it. We'll know in here. Join ISUPK. Lace up them boots, baby. Get up in the game. Go ahead. We done on that? You got more?
I'm not sure. Is there more?
That's it? Let's do it real quick.
At least 9 HBCUs across the country received bomb threats. Bomb threats were reported at least 9 historically black colleges and universities on Tuesday, prompting widespread evacuations of students and campus employees.
Now, that shows you cannot come together for anything in this empire. They always that adage, they always say black people don't come together. That's a lie. We always trying to come together. And guess what? We always getting stopped. Either by a traitor or by the enemy on the outside. Like you turned around and decided to play sports for an HBCU. Two brothers decided to play sports for HBCU. And 9, how many was it? 9 HBCUs get bomb threats. 9 of them. Independently of each other. 9 of them get bomb threats. Because 2 brothers decide they're going to go play for an HBCU. That's the proof that you should go play for an HBCU.
That's it.
Like that's the proof right there. You wondering how you fight the beast? Go look at what he does not want you to do and examine why.
Right.
To ask yourself why. Why would they not? 2 brothers go to play for HBCU. 9 bomb threats. They ready to wipe out HBCUs. If you try to go, because they understand what it means. Just like in ancient Egypt, when they turned around and said, let us deal with them wisely. And they made the children of Israel to work with rigor. They put you down underneath them and grinded you up as a people. And when you come together for the benefit of yourselves and to rise yourself up, you anger this man. You put fear in him. And he was willing to do whatever it takes to stop you from doing what you're doing. But you have to do it. Because if you don't do it, you're going to spend 400 more years up under him. So you're going to have to recognize that it's going to get bad for you to do what's right. But if you do it, the Lord will be with you. If you follow those laws, statutes, and commandments and stand with the Most High, then guess what? It's going to look bad in the beginning. But then it's going to get way better. Because you're going to become more powerful than you ever could have become by kissing their behind and begging them to help you. You're going to become way more powerful than you've ever become before. And certainly the Lord is smarter than us, and he gave us the strategy. Join the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Pay your tithes. Go to ISUPK.com. Support this truth. Keep this word going. April 14th, Passover. Cocoa Beach, Florida, humongous event, all activities. Check out the website. Also, bingo. We coming with the bingo, Friday night bingo. They've been saying it. We've been working on it. Next Friday, Lord allow, I'll announce the time. Friday night bingo. You can buy your cards online. We're going to play bingo. It's a fundraiser. Raise funds for the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Big shout out to Shagapon doing his thing. Want to thank the heavy hitters from coming in through the building, Officer Mariah, Dai Bod, and all the brothers and sisters that come through to support us, man. All of you at home, I'll see you next time live on the UPK, y'all. Shalom.
Hey, Shalom, Lord Christ, it's Officer Rock, Durham, Kent, ISUPK. We out here in Houston, Texas, celebrating the Lord's Passover, the 52nd. As well as the Feast of Unleavened Bread. This is the second night of a glorious event. Houston has definitely done a great job. Everything has been wild. The brotherhood is on deck. We got the sisterhood on deck. We got the families out here. We got the children. We got the animals. We got horse rides. We got firecrackers and fireworks. And definitely some lamb and some unleavened bread. You know what I mean? Anyway, next time, if the Lord does not come back, if Yahushua does not come back, we will have a 53rd Passover. Make sure you be there. This Officer Rock signing out. Shalom.
ISUPK 53rd Annual Lord Passover.
53rd Annual Lord's Passover is going to be held down here in Florida.
It's going down.
You're here tonight to get a chance to be righteous enough to be worthy of God coming to save you.
That's right.
It's going down. The Lord's 53rd annual Passover.
When we say we no cowards, we stop that business. We no cowards up in here.
Book your hotels now at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, the IHG Hotel, 301 Tucker Lane, Cocoa Beach, Florida, 32926.
Y'all see this?
Comes with all your dishes, pots, and sports knives.
I kind of like this. This is like an apartment and a hotel. You know what I mean?
This here right here is about to be holy ground. It's going to be holy ground. All our beautiful, wonderful brothers and sisters from all over the world. You understand? We can boast that now. Brothers and sisters coming not only from every state, but from all over the world. I heard the numbers this year is ridiculous. We had to buy out the whole hotel.
Friday, April 15th at the Space Coast Convention Center.
You cannot debate. You just want the clout. We just want the grades. I'm just trying to get it.
This is going to be glorious.